Most people don't think twice before spending a 1982 P quarter. It looks ordinary. It feels ordinary. And millions of Americans have used it without ever realizing that in the right condition, this simple coin can attract serious collector attention. The 1982 P Washington quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. That P mint mark is important because before 1980, Philadelphia coins didn't even carry a mint mark. By 1982, however, production systems were changing, collector demand was shifting, and something unusual happened that year. The U.S. Mint did not issue traditional uncirculated mint sets for collectors. That decision changed everything. Normally, collectors would purchase mint sets directly from the U.S. Mint, preserving coins in pristine condition from the moment they were struck. But in 1982, no official mint sets were sold. That means far fewer coins were carefully saved in high-grade condition. Instead, most 1982 P quarters entered circulation immediately, where they were exposed to scratches, contact marks, and wear. Now here's the key point. The total mintage of the 1982 P quarter was very high. Over 500 million coins were produced. So in general circulation, this is not a rare coin. If you find one in pocket change that has been used for decades, it's typically worth face value, 25 cents. But condition is where the story changes. In coin collecting, value is not just about age or mintage. It's about grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS 67 or higher means it is in near-perfect mint state condition, with exceptional luster, minimal contact marks, and sharp detail. And here's where the 1982 P quarter becomes interesting. Because there were no official mint sets, very few examples survived in ultra-high grades. Finding a 1982 P quarter in MS 67 condition is extremely difficult. In fact, high-grade certified examples have sold for thousands of dollars at auction, not because the coin is silver, not because it's ancient, but because truly flawless examples are scarce. Collectors pay for perfection. Most 1982 P quarters show weak strikes, dull luster, or visible bag marks. So when a sharply struck coin with blazing luster and clean surfaces appears, it stands out immediately. Third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC authenticate and grade these coins, and once certified at a high level, demand increases significantly. But high grade is only one side of the story. Error coins add another layer of potential value. Some 1982 P quarters have been discovered with off-center strikes, die cracks, double die characteristics, or other mint errors. While minor errors may not carry huge premiums, dramatic and clearly visible mint errors can command strong prices, especially when verified and encapsulated by professional grading services. However, it's important to stay realistic. The average circulated 1982 P quarter is not worth thousands. Most examples you find will show where. The real opportunity lies in condition and authenticity. Collectors are not paying for the date alone. They are paying for rarity in top preservation. So what should you look for? Start with luster. Tilt the coin under light. A true mint state coin will reflect light evenly across the surface. Next, check the high points. Washington's hair, the cheek area, and the eagle's breast feathers on the reverse. Any flatness or dullness indicates wear. Then look for contact marks. Small scratches from other coins hitting it in mint bags are common. The fewer marks you see, the better. Also examine strike quality. Weakly struck coins will have soft details. Strong strikes show sharp, defined lines, especially in the lettering and the eagle's features. If you believe you found an exceptional example, professional grading may be worth considering. But grading fees exist, so it only makes sense if the coin appears truly premium. Now here's something most people overlook. Because 1982 and 1983 lacked traditional mint sets, both years are considered tougher in high grades compared to surrounding years. That creates a subtle but important niche among serious Washington quarter collectors. Registry set builders, collectors who compete for the highest graded sets, are often willing to pay strong premiums for top population coins. That competitive demand pushes prices upward for the finest known examples. Again, not for average coins, only for the best of the best. And that's what makes the 1982 P quarter fascinating. It teaches a powerful lesson in coin collecting. Rarity is not always about how many were made. Sometimes it's about how many survived in exceptional condition. Millions were produced, but very few were preserved carefully. So before you dismiss a 1982 P quarter as just spare change, take a closer look. Under the right light, in the right condition, with the right certification, it could be far more collectible than you think. Not because it promises overnight wealth, but because in the world of numismatics, condition is king, and overlooked years sometimes create the biggest surprises.
Coin number 2.
Most people wouldn't even look twice at a 1985 P quarter. It's not silver. It's not extremely old, and millions were made. But in the world of coin collecting, the real story isn't always about age. It's about condition, quality, and the details most people ignore. The 1985 P Washington quarter was struck at the United States Mint in Philadelphia. By the mid-1980s, quarter production was massive. In fact, over 700 million 1985 P quarters were produced. On the surface, that sounds like there's no way this coin could ever be valuable. And for most examples, that's true. A circulated 1985 P quarter that's been in pockets and cash registers for decades is usually worth face value, 25 cents. But here's where things start to change. In coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a 1 to 70 scale. A coin graded MS 65 is considered gem quality. But once you move into MS 67 and higher, the rarity increases dramatically, especially for modern coins that weren't carefully preserved. With the 1985 P quarter, finding one in average mint state isn't impossible. But finding one in superb condition, with blazing luster, sharp strike, and almost no contact marks, becomes much harder than people expect. High-grade certified examples have sold for strong prices at auction, not because the coin is rare in mintage, but because very few survive in truly elite condition. When collectors compete for the finest known examples, prices can rise into the thousands of dollars. That's the difference between common and condition rarity. Most 1985 P quarters show bag marks from mint storage. They often have weak strikes around Washington's hair details or softness in the eagle's feathers on the reverse. These small imperfections keep most coins from reaching the highest grades. So what separates a premium example? First, luster. A high-grade coin will have bright, undisturbed mint shine that flows evenly across the surface when tilted under light. Second, strike quality. Look at Washington's hair above the ear and the eagle's chest feathers. Strong detail is a good sign. Third, surface preservation. The fewer contact marks you see in open areas like the cheek or the fields, the better the potential grade. Now let's talk about another factor that can increase value: mint errors. While the 1985 P quarter isn't famous for one single dramatic error, examples have been found with off-center strikes, die cracks, and minor double die characteristics. Major visible errors, especially dramatic off-center strikes, can command significant premiums if authenticated. But it's important to stay realistic. Most 1985 P quarters you find will not be rare errors. They will not grade MS 67, and they will not be worth thousands. The opportunity lies in careful inspection. Modern quarters were heavily used. Few people in 1985 thought about saving rolls in perfect condition. That means ultra-high grade survivors are scarcer than the mintage number suggests. And here's something many beginners misunderstand. A coin doesn't need to be silver or 100 years old to have value. The 1985 P quarter is made of copper-nickel-clad composition, the same metal used in quarters today. Its value comes purely from preservation quality and collector demand. Registry collectors, those building top-graded sets, often compete for the highest certified examples. When population reports show only a small number graded at the very top level, competition increases. That competitive demand can push prices much higher than most people expect for a modern coin. But again, only for the very best examples. So if you're checking your change, what should you do? Start by separating the cleanest examples you find. Look for coins with strong shine and minimal marks. Avoid pieces that look dull, scratched, or heavily worn. If you believe you found an exceptional coin, compare it carefully to grading images online before considering professional grading. Certification only makes sense if the coin truly appears premium. The lesson of the 1985 P quarter is simple but powerful. High mintage does not always mean low value. What matters is how many survive in top condition. Millions were struck. Most were spent. Very few remain nearly perfect. And sometimes that tiny difference in preservation is what separates 25 cents from a serious collector premium. So the next time a 1985 P quarter lands in your hand, don't just toss it aside. Take a second look. Because in coin collecting, the smallest details often make the biggest difference.
Coin number 3.
Most people wouldn't expect anything special from a 1989 D quarter. It's modern, it's common, and millions are made. But in coin collecting, numbers don't always tell the full story. The 1989 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, operated by the United States Mint. The D mint mark below the date confirms it was produced in Denver. That year, production was massive. Over 800 million pieces were struck. So at first glance, this coin doesn't seem rare at all. And in circulated condition, it isn't. A worn 1989 D quarter found in pocket change is usually worth exactly 25 cents. But here's where things get interesting. In modern coin collecting, value often comes from condition rarity, not mintage rarity. While hundreds of millions are produced, very few survive in pristine, nearly flawless condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. Once a coin reaches MS-65, it's considered gem mint state. But when you move into MS-67 or higher, the numbers drop dramatically, even for modern coins. With the 1989 D quarter, most examples show noticeable bag marks. When coins are transported in large mint bags, they collide with one another. These tiny impacts leave marks, especially on open areas like Washington's cheek and the fields of the coin. That's why finding a sharply struck, clean surface 1989 D quarter with blazing luster is harder than many people realize. And collectors pay attention to that difference. High-grade certified examples, especially those graded at the very top of the population reports, have sold for significant premiums compared to face value. Not because the coin is silver, not because it's ancient, but because true perfection is rare. Now, let's talk about what to look for. Start with luster. A genuine mint state coin will have bright, carved-like shine that moves smoothly under light. If the surface looks dull or flat, it's likely circulated. Next, examine Washington's hair details above the ear. Weak strikes are common on some modern quarters. Strong detail with no flattening is a good sign. Then inspect the reverse. The eagle's chest feathers and wing details should appear sharp. Heavy contact marks in these areas reduce grade potential. Surface preservation is critical. Even tiny scratches in key focal areas can prevent a coin from reaching the highest grades. But condition isn't the only factor. Min errors can also create value. While the 1989 D quarter isn't known for one famous major error variety, examples have been discovered with off-center strikes, die cracks, and other striking abnormalities. Dramatic off-center pieces or major misstrikes, especially when certified, can sell for far more than a standard example. However, realism is important. Most 1989 D quarters you find will not be rare errors. Most will not grade MS 67, and most will remain worth face value. The opportunity lies in understanding what makes a coin exceptional. Here's something many beginners misunderstand. A high mintage year does not automatically mean low value. What matters is how many survive in top condition. Modern coins were not always saved carefully. Many were spent immediately. Over time, circulation will reduce a number of premium survivors. And among registry set collectors, those competing for the highest graded sets. Even a small difference in population numbers can influence price. If only a limited number of coins exists at the highest certified grade, competition increases. That's when modern coins like the 1989 D quarter can surprise people. But patience and careful inspection are key. If you're searching your change, separate the cleanest examples you find. Look for strong shine, minimal marks, and sharp detail. Avoid coins with visible wear on high points. If you truly believe you found an exceptional example, compare it carefully to professional grading standards before submitting it. Grading fees exist, so only coins with strong visual appeal should be considered. The 1989 D quarter teaches an important lesson in modern numismatics. Rarity isn't always about how many were made. Sometimes it's about how many remain nearly perfect. Millions were struck in Denver. Most were heavily used. Only a small percentage remain in elite condition. And in coin collecting, that difference can mean everything. So the next time a 1989 D quarter lands in your hand, don't immediately dismiss it as ordinary. Take a closer look, because sometimes the true value of a coin isn't in its age, it's in its preservation.